Hey, how's it going? Mike Walsh here from Straight Path Solutions. Just a quick little video. I got an email the other day. Actually, myself and my client got an email. We have many clients who we're doing lots of cloud things with, some in AWS, some with Azure. But I'm actually trying to get a lot more into Azure SQL. I really think Azure SQL, if you're a SQL Server shop, I really think Azure SQL is something you should consider, especially if you're a SaaS company. If you're providing software or services, or you're providing software as a service, and your companies are your clients are web based, and your clients are all over the place. How much you're paying for hosting, how much you're paying for licensing and infrastructure support, and tier one, tier two support, and companies like us to do your remote DBA services. You may still need us. A lot of the clients that we're bringing to the cloud into PaaS or platform as a service options still need that level of DBA support, but their hours go down with us, which is a great success for everybody. That's one of the measures of success for me with one of our retainer clients. Is they, hopefully as time increases, we've done a great job helping them get proactive and building the right tools, and over time our hours start to decrease. That to me is success. But anyway, I brought one of those clients, or we're in the process of bringing one of those clients to the cloud, and it's a lot of work. We're actually going from a single tenant database, or one big multi-tenant database rather, to one database per client, and we're using elastic pools, and it's kind of fun. There's a lot of cutting edge stuff. We've had a couple of chats in Microsoft just to make sure we're doing things right, and it's going well. I have another client we're bringing to Azure SQL, and still another one we're bringing to RDS and Amazon. Someday I'll talk to you about the differences and why I prefer Azure SQL if you're going PaaS and you're staying on a Microsoft platform. Although Amazon's RDS for Aurora for their MySQL is pretty slick. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of call out one feature, and we'll kind of show it how to set up on the portal here real quick in my own little dummy environment. But the real short story is we got an email, and it's the first time this client got the email, and I've seen the email in demos before. But there's a feature. It's a security feature. In fact, we'll go here and show you. So I'm looking at the Azure Portal here, and as you'll see on the screen, we'll just go to SQL Server. So these are Azure SQLs, and every Azure SQL has what's called a server behind it, and it really is a server. It can handle 2,000, maybe 5,000 databases. It really depends on what kind of workload you're putting up against it. And you're not paying for the server, you're paying for the database. But inside here, there's a bunch of different features, and one of them is auditing and threat detection. And a lot of people are hesitant to go to the cloud because they say, well, what about security? And I'm real secure in my hosted environment with Rackspace, or in my own, down in the basement of the hospital we have our servers. Why do we need to go to the cloud? It's more secure here. Well, the email that my client got, it says, dear client, someone has logged on to your SQL server, and then it has the SQL server name. So in this case, it's New England SQL Julia Child. I had recently just given a presentation at New England SQL, and that's the server I created for them, just to show them how easy it is. But it says someone has logged onto your SQL server, and we'll say New England SQL Julia Child, from an unusual location. And then it tells you the severity level, it tells you what database, it tells you what IP address the person was coming in from, where they were in the country or in the world. Gives you a little bit of their host name, the first couple characters, and then the rest are asterisked out for privacy. And then it basically says a potential cause is unauthorized access that exploits an opening in the firewall, or it's just legitimate access from a new location. So, and that's what the case was here. So one of the things if we turn this on here, if we turn auditing on, and we have to pay for that, and we'll have to have an audit server for it. Let's just build it real quick. I don't have a storage account, but actually I do. We'll just use this one. We'll create this real quick. I'm going to throw it away when we're done. Create a new one. Give it a name. Test for video. Gotta get rid of that space though. We'll do standard. We'll do LRS storage. And we'll wait for a little bit. This is going to take a little while to build. So we'll wait for that deployment to happen. And what has to happen is, in order for you to do the auditing, you have to have a storage account for all that data to live on. It's not going to cost you a lot of money. If we see here, it's in the process of deploying. We'll wait for that to finish. I'll wait here. And I'm going to click OK. So obviously we have to wait for the storage account. There's no choice. So we'll wait a second. But what's going to happen here in a minute, we'll have the storage account. It's done. So it wasn't even a minute. And this is what we're going to do. We'll say, well, let's just keep it for 339 days. And now we're going to turn threat detection on. And these are the type of threats that are looked for. Three things. One is SQL injection. So it'll actually see, hey, this query looks like a pattern of SQL injection. So this client actually found one. They got an alert, and we all got an alert saying, hey, there's a SQL injection attack. It wasn't. It was just code. But that's okay because it actually had a pattern. Another one is SQL injection vulnerability. So it maybe you're using SPX SQL or you're doing some code passing, and the machine learning and the AI built into Azure SQL has said, uh-oh, this could potentially be a SQL injection vulnerability. You might want to fix this piece of code because this could be an attack vector. And this is what the alert they just got was. It was an anomalous client login. What's that? Well, it's a login that's successful. So why would you get an alert about a login that's successful? Well, remember, this is the day of big data and machine learning and lots of algorithms and AI behind the scenes. The folks at Microsoft running Azure SQL are taking all the data from the logins, and they're looking at it, and they're storing it, and they're looking for patterns. And when a pattern is violated, they send you an alert. It's like your credit card. You know, when I travel, we recently adopted from Ukraine, and I call my credit card companies first, and I said, hey, listen, I'm going to be in Ukraine, going to be in Hungary, going to be in London when I'm flying. Don't cancel my credit cards. Because the credit cards know that I'm always swiping, or inserting here in the United States, mostly in the Northeast. So the credit cards are looking at these transactions, and when they see a transaction from someplace that doesn't make sense based on my history, they either deny the transaction or they flag it as an alert and call me up and say, are you really in Ukraine? Are you really trying to make this? Well, it's the same thing here. So my client and I, we're always connecting to their Azure SQL from one of two or three places, normally through their firewall, normally from one or two hosts, and from our own local IPs. Well, one of the folks at this customer was traveling, and from their hotel, they had connected in and done a couple of pieces of development work and checked. And we got the email. So I sent the email off to everybody saying, hey, is this expected? Anybody know what this is? And the resource said, yep, it's me. I'm traveling. So we say, okay, that's cool. It's allowed. So, that's just an answer to the naysayers, right? And I don't mean that in a bad, bullyish kind of way. But people say, well, can you do this in the cloud? Well, can you do that in the cloud? Well, a lot of times the conversation has to be turned back to say, well, can you do that on-prem? Now, sure, we can do what we just did on-prem. I can do that for a customer on-prem today. It's going to take me a little bit of work. It's going to cost some money. We have to build some processes. Here, we're going to spend $15 a month for the storage account and for the auditing. I'm going to click OK here and save it. And when this deployment is done, well, I have a problem here. Something is wrong with I didn't give an email address. So I have to actually give an email address. So let me fix that. Can I discard it? Yeah. Oh, I didn't mean to discard. So I'll have to give an email address. So let's just say mike@straightpathsql.com. Email the service and co-admin, so it's going to email the administrators as well. Now I can click save. And now we'll wait. And this should actually deploy with success, hopefully. I want to try and be under 10 minutes, so let's see if it finishes in less than 30 seconds here. And I think it will. Again, we can click here and see what's happening. There we go. It's successful. There's my failure. There's my success. So in just a couple minutes, I now have this on. So if I build a database, or if I put an elastic pool on this server of databases, all of my databases on this server will be protected with the same approach. It's not going to happen right away. You won't know on day one. These people have been working with their Azure SQL, off and on for a couple months, few months now. It's really getting more hot and heavy as we get busier here, and they're actually pushing client workload against it. But it has to build the data first. It has to build the transaction history, if you so to speak. It has to build the login history, and once it has that, and it starts following the patterns, it will let us know. Now, it's not going to block people. It's not going to stop people, but it will let us know there's a problem, and then we can quickly do things. So in fact, there's even links inside the email. like investigation steps. Well, you can view suspicious activity. And in that email, there's a link. You click that link, it actually brings you to the activity log. Or there's a link for remediation steps. And it says, lock down the firewall as tightly as possible. And then you can even send feedback. You can click, yes, this was me, or no, this doesn't look familiar. And by doing that, that helps the machine learning and the AI learn about you and learn about how to serve you better. And just real quick, you want long-term backup retention? You come in here, you click this. It's a preview feature right now. I'm sure it'll be going live. And you can now have up to 10 years of backup retention, again, just for the price of storage, which is relatively inexpensive. Getting data into the cloud and storing it in the cloud is not expensive. Getting it out can be expensive, or can get that way. Transparent data encryption, people ask about that all the time. You have no choice. Your databases in Azure SQL already have TDE across the board. So, that's just 2 security features. And they're growing and building. So, and if you look at the latest SQL Server Management Studio, you'll see the latest SQL Server Management Studio has vulnerability assessments, tools for your databases. So really, what's happening is Microsoft's taking all of their knowledge, all of the telemetry data from your client, your physical environments, and my physical environments, all this knowledge, all these experts, all these years of experience, and also running their own IT, and they're putting it into their products. The cloud is great just for getting rid of hosting alone. But it's also great for getting this sort of best of breed IT and compliance all rolled into one, already done for you. I'll be honest, none of my clients on-prem have a process that I've built for them that's looking for anomalous logins. Now, they may have tools like NGuard and other providers that actually do pen tests and actually some tools to look for these things, but they don't have it on their database layer, directly. There's third-party companies out there, so you can buy this license and install this product and set up this tool and manage it and watch it over time. Or if your workload is right for Azure SQL and your budget's right for Azure SQL, you can come in here and get it right out of the gate and get the emails right out of the gate. So it's a cool feature. Again, it's not the only reason to go to Azure SQL, but it's just another reminder to me of why StraightPath is sort of taking our SaaS customers especially and making them think more about PaaS, whether it's Microsoft's cloud, Amazon's cloud, even Google's cloud. It's an option, and it's not an option to be ignored anymore. 3 years ago, I would have laughed if you told me I'd be making this video. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, I hope you have a great day, and hope this helps. Have a great one. Thanks, guys. Bye.